Hi everybody, it's me again. I realized shortly after I posted that the first and last video that I posted, that you guys have no idea who I am. So I figured I should do a video to introduce myself, excuse me, and tell you guys a little bit about myself and why or how I came to decide that having bariatric surgery was a good idea for me. So, my name's Lisa. I am a 35-year-old wife and mother. I am married to a pretty amazing woman. Of course, we have our ups and downs, but what relationship doesn't, right? So, we have a 17-year-old daughter and a 13-month-old son. He's almost 14 months old. And my daughter's name is Megan, and our son's name is Lennox. And my wife's name is Angela. She is an EMT and has been for almost 16 years. So there's a little bit about my family. I work at Chrysler Casting Plant in Kokomo, Indiana, also known now as FCA Chrysler Casting. We're owned by Fiat and some Italian guy, but Marconi, I think is his name. But anyway, I've been there for almost 4 years, not quite 4 years. I like my job for the most part. Any BS aside, it's a pretty good job. It's pretty physical. So there's that. So I don't have necessarily a career. I have a job, whereas my wife has a career, and it's one she should be very proud of, in my opinion. Anybody out there who's EMS, LE, fire, anything, dispatch, you should be proud of what you do, and we thank you. So, let's go back like a long time ago. I've been overweight for as long as I can remember. It's always been a problem that I've had. I've always had chubby cheeks and, a chin and a half, or two in this case. Two chins, one chin, two chin. The rest is my neck. That's not a chin. But, so I've always been heavy. I've always had a sweet tooth. And growing up, I was never allowed to have, like, pop and candy and things like that. We didn't keep that in the house. We just couldn't afford it, so it wasn't there. So it was kind of like I missed out on a lot of that stuff. But I promise you I made up for it and the other crap that I ate. But, my mom's ex-husband used to have a saying, if you don't like it, give it to Lisa. Kind of like the Life cereal commercials. Give it to Mikey, he likes everything. So, there were the things I ran into most were actually in my own home from my mom's ex-husband. We used to actually call this man Dad. And he'd been around since we were, I don't know, like 5 or something. Maybe 6, I don't really remember. He was around a while. Several years, actually. And, he used to call me garbage disposal because I would eat supper and then I'd go back for seconds and I would be hungry 2 hours later. He used to call me the udder child because I developed, the udder daughter, U-D-D-E-R, because I developed quicker than my sister did. As a matter of fact, my sister didn't develop until she got pregnant. But, just kidding, Mary, I love you. So, yeah, he called me that, as in, like, the udders on a cow, that sort of thing. Yeah, he called me all sorts of names. And so, obviously, there was some emotional and mental abuse going on there. Aside from all the other crap that was going on, actually, there was not just emotional and mental abuse in that household. It was also physical and sexual abuse, unfortunately. Finally, my mom divorced him after, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years together, I think. And we kind of moved on, but unfortunately, the damage was already done. I would not call myself an emotional eater, though sometimes, I guess, okay, denial is not just a river in Egypt. Okay, I am an emotional eater. Like, when I get stressed out, I want something salty, something chocolate, something sweet. Give it to me now. Okay, so step one is admitting you have a problem. God. Okay, so, but I also used to eat just because I was bored. I didn't have anything else to do, and so I'd go grab some potato chips or some popcorn or a sandwich, a pizza. No, seriously, I was bored. I could even, I mean, I used to read a lot, but if I couldn't read or if I couldn't get into the book, I would be bored. So I would like snack on something, and I was always grazing, so to speak. You know how some people like eat a little bit all day long? Okay, realistically it was probably a lot all day long, but still. Excuse me. So, I don't really remember much from elementary. I mean, I kind of remember like some goofy little outfits my mom used to put me in. You know those rompers that are now popular? I had like a 4-colored one. It was yellow and pink and blue and black. And I remember wearing that in my 4th grade pictures with my perm that my mother always had in my hair. So anyway, I don't really remember a whole lot from elementary school. I was always really shy and quiet. Didn't have very many friends. Kind of kept to myself. Middle school, I kind of remember in like 6th grade. You know, the mom jeans now, of course, back in the 90s, that's what we wore. Shut up, I don't want to hear how old I am. I used to wear those, except they were usually, because I hit a pretty big growth spurt, they were normally about an inch too short. But they rode high on the waist, and they had to because my hips were wide for a 13-year-old girl. So that's definitely one thing I run into even now, like at work, my work pants. I have to have them like 3 sizes bigger than they're supposed to be. So they fit my waist. And then they're big and baggy everywhere else. And it's not really because, I mean, my middle's extra, it is bigger, but it's not like real big. It's just they're men's jeans or men's pants, and men's pants are weird. So right now, well, okay, we're not coming to right now. Right now we are going to trip down memory lane. So let's see, middle school, high school, again, quiet, shy, probably size 13, 14. I have no idea what I weighed up until like I got pregnant with my daughter my senior year of high school. But I was constantly dieting, constantly trying to watch what I was eating, and it was I mean, it's literally been a lifetime struggle for me. And my mom was heavy as well. At her heaviest, she was 412 pounds. So she was diabetic, and she had a lot of health issues, which so far, thankfully, I have dodged those for the most part so far. Like, I don't have high blood pressure. Occasionally it might get kind of borderline, but I am borderline diabetic right now, and that is mainly because of my weight. Once I get my weight down, then that'll go away, and I know it will. I also have hypothyroidism. So now back to high school. So yeah, freshman, sophomore, junior year, again, quiet, shy, just really kept to myself, had a few friends, and we all pretty much got along, you know. We had some teenage drama as always. Then my senior year, my junior year, I started working at Wendy's. That was probably one of the worst things I could ever do. Because back then, Wendy's fries were pretty badass. And I used to eat them with mayo. So mayo and fries, those were pretty good. The Frosties weren't really like a big thing for me, so whatever. And then their chicken nuggets, if they were fresh, they were pretty darn good too. So I ate my fair share of fast food while I was working. So I'm sure I put on a little bit of weight there. Well then, between my junior and senior year, I actually managed, not like summertime, it was like January '99. Got my first boyfriend. We're not going to go down that little road there. We're just going to avoid that one. Almost, not quite a year later, let's see, 9 months later, I was pregnant. No, not 9 months later, I popped a kid out. 9 months later, I found out I was, actually, no, 11 months later, I found out I was pregnant. And then I had my daughter the following summer, and that's really when things, like, got bad. And it wasn't necessarily because I was eating whatever I wanted, because, you know, I'm eating for two. I was actually sick most of the time. I would vomit at least once a day, if not a dozen times a day. It was awful. There was one time I remember, like, sleeping on the toilet, like, with my head on the commode, because all I was going to do was wake up and get sick anyway. So, my daughter's lucky I love her, because it was awful. But, you forget about that. Okay, you don't forget about it. It's just not, like, at the forefront once you have them. But during that time, I managed to gain almost 90 pounds. I believe when I got pregnant, I weighed 163 or 162 or something like that, which, yes, I thought I was fat. Come to find out, I was actually stacked, but whatever. I would give anything to get back to that right now. But when I delivered my daughter, I was 242 pounds. So, that's a big gain. Well, after I had her, a couple years later, you know, I'm all sluggish, I'm tired, my weight just keeps creeping up, it's just slowly, you know, piling on. And not necessarily because of what I'm eating, though what I'm eating probably isn't the best. But I went to the doctor, and they did some blood work, and they found out that I had a hypothyroid. Little did I know it would take, how old did I say I was? 35? 18 years to get that number where it freaking needed to be. Between sometimes running out of medicine and not having the money or the insurance to get it. That's never good. Like, guys, Synthroid is super cheap. Don't ever go without it. It's worth the sacrifice of a pack of cigarettes or whatever. Just make sure you guys are taking your synthetic thyroid medication if you have a thyroid problem, because it will mess everything up. So the weight gain caused me to have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So anyway, and we finally got the medication figured out this last year, because we added this year, 2017, so 17 years, yeah, is how long it took. We added T3 to my supplement regimen, basically. So now it seems to be kind of a little more even keel, I hope. I go back in October and find out, but whatever. So I blame a lot of it on my thyroid. But then in 2008, I went through a divorce. Probably one of the best things that's happened to me, aside from having my daughter. And my highest weight was 283, 286, something like that. 280, I think it was 286 pounds. So I was pretty heavy, a size 24. I was a big girl. I'm still a big girl, but I was a big girl. And so I ended up, and I mean, most everybody who goes through a relationship ending or a divorce, you know, you go through this, it's stress, it's whatever. But I started watching what I was eating again, I started working out, and I did actually lose on my own 50, I think right around 50 pounds. So I got down to like 235 pounds. And for a couple of years, I kind of fluctuated between 235 and 245, somewhere between there. Fast forward another 9 years, here I am. And I am back up to 263 pounds. Now, 2.5 years ago, I started, actually no, it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I started taking a spin class, and I became hooked. Like, I love spin. I'm just not doing it anymore, and I miss it, but my lazy butt wasn't going, and I haven't since I had my hysterectomy last year. So that was a big downer. But I got hooked on spin, and then, so I would go to spin 2 to 3 days out of the week, which is 45 minutes, but you can burn like anywhere between 500 and 900 calories, depending on what you're doing. And then I also started using a personal trainer who became a very good friend of mine. So I can't just refer to her as, oh, my trainer. I mean, yeah, she's my trainer, but she's my friend too. So I did pretty good physically. I lost, I think I might have gotten back up to like 270 pounds because we had some stuff and stress and whatever going through. And I'm pretty sure I lost like another 30 pounds, maybe 40 pounds. So I lost that, and You're in the middle of the road. You gotta go. Sorry. I'm amazed at how some people drive. Anyway, so I decided, or I lost probably about 40 pounds. I got back down to 230 pounds with the help of her and, you know, diet and exercise and spin. And it was fun. I loved doing it. If I didn't go to the gym, I felt like crap. But, you know, we don't always want to get up and do it. And that's been my struggle for the last year and a half, because last April I had a hysterectomy. And then I was off of work and out of the gym for like 7 to 8 weeks. And then the doctor finally said, hey, you can go back. And I'm like, bleh. I knew. You know, I gained like 20 pounds during that time. I think it was 15 or 20 pounds. And that's the problem with hypothyroidism, is we don't just like kind of gain weight. Like, it's boom, there it is. So I went from like a size, I don't know, 18. No, I was fitting into a 16. So a size 16 back up to almost a 20. And I've been in a 20, 22 since. And I'm miserable. I'm exhausted. And I know I don't have to do it anymore, but if I can't get below 230 pounds on my own, I mean, working out 5-6 days a week for 45 minutes or better, something's got to give. Supplements don't really work for me. Fat burners don't work for me. You know, watching what I eat, yeah, that helps. It helps me feel better, but it doesn't work for me as far as weight loss. And I know that, you know, people actually spin this little web and tell these little stories, but I promise you, I could come up with so many witnesses who watched me work out, and then others who watched what I ate. I mean, I've had people at work tell me, I've never seen anybody eat as healthy as you do and still be the weight you're at. And I don't take it bad, because, I mean, I know it's awful. So I decided, at first I was actually against the surgery because my mom had it and she had a lot of complications. She actually had the Roux-en-Y, and I'm looking at VSG, which is vertical sleeve gastrectomy. That's kind of fun to say. Vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Anyway, VSG. So I'm looking at that because I'm not really all into rerouting my insides. It's bad enough I'm getting ready to take some out, but shoot, I've already lost my gallbladder, my uterus, and my fallopian tubes. Eh, what's a stomach, right? So I think that's all that's been removed. So I think I have both my kidneys and my bladder. And just kidding, guys. So I'm looking at that. But my mom had Roux-en-Y back in 06, and she had a lot of complications, but she did go from 412 pounds. I think her lowest may have been about 130, and that was obviously too low. She gained some weight back, but then her diabetes had been so bad for so long that it had already done the damage that it was going to do on her kidneys, and she ended up in renal failure in 2011, I believe. She had to do dialysis, and then 2013 she came home from dialysis, and we're pretty sure she ended up with a pulmonary embolism, and she passed away. So, you know, that's the short of the long with my mother's story. But because of that, my mom was only 50. And it scares me that, you know, I could be looking at that. No, I haven't lived with my blood sugar like she did. And, you know, there are a bunch of other things that I've not had to deal with that she did. But I don't want to look at leaving my family when I'm 50. That'll mean that Lennox will be like 16. Megan will be 32. But I'm pretty sure, well, as a matter of fact, let's see, how old was I? I was about 32. So, yeah. So it's not something that I want her to have to go through. I think I might have been 31. We shouldn't have to go through something like that. So I decided I needed to be healthier and get smaller. And since it hasn't worked over the last three years, excuse me, I decided that this is the route I'm going to take. So I am seeing a surgeon down at Meridian Surgical Group in Indianapolis, which is at the St. Vincent Bariatric Center of Excellence. That is where my mom went. My aunt has gone there. Tons of other people have gone there, and that is where I have decided to go. So now that you know a little bit about me, if you have any questions, please be sure to just post them in the comments below, and I will be sure to answer them as good as I can. But I've already got my next video planned out, and it is going to be, and these hopefully will get a little bit better. Like right now I'm on my way home, and I've got 40 minutes to do nothing, so I'm talking to my camera, which is why I'm not looking at you guys much. But, you know, I've already got the next one planned out, and like I said, hopefully they'll get a little bit better. I may have to have my more tech savvy than myself daughter help me out with putting in some music and some clips and some pictures and things like that. So any tips I am more than willing to take. If you have any questions, please ask. I am doing this not only for myself, but for anybody who maybe has the idea that this is the easy way out, to show them that it's just as much, if not more, work doing it this way than, you know, just going to the gym and dropping weight. Some of us just can't do it. Now, there are some people who choose this route because they're too, let's be honest, too lazy to do it the other way. And I have been told that, you know, but I deal with it. I suck it up, and I know what I know, and I've done my homework. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. That way you can hear my witty commentary at a later date. So I look forward to seeing you guys all here soon, and hopefully tomorrow I will get a call for my pre-op testing. So wish me luck. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.